the API to practice the next level example, because our next example is working with those APIs that we designed, the complete. I will show you another process also. Generally, when you go to interviews in companies, they will not ask you to create database on MongoDB, and they will not ask you to write logic in server side API. They will ask one concept called JSON server. There is a ready-made JSON server. You can download that JSON server. In that JSON server, you can maintain a JSON file that will act as database. On that JSON file, you can handle all the CRUD operation. In companies interviews, what they do is they will ask you to show the CRUD operations on that JSON server. So, but in reality, we will have database, server side logic, and the front end. So in the server side logics, yesterday, we designed this React to-do application, and we created up to the concept of view tasks, add task, view task. Two more actions are there, edit task and delete task. We must able to edit a task based on the task ID, the appointment ID. So we have to use a app. Editing is done by using put method. Put is for updating, and get for fetch, post for submit. Put and what is the request method? Edit task and the appointment ID. We need to give a slash colon and ID. ID is appointment ID. Now what we have to do is we need to create a connection. So Mongo client dot connect with connection string. Okay. And then client object. So here we will use the database client object DB method. Database is React to do is the database. And in the database, we have a collection called appointments. In the appointments, we have to update one record, update one. So which record we need to update? You know, update command have two queries, one find, another update. That means here we need two queries, one find query, another one update. So here I need to find the record based on appointment ID. Appointment ID is a number. So we will first create ID, parse int, request dot parameters dot ID. It will get the ID you entered as parameter, and it will convert that ID into number. Now we need to filter update record where appointment ID is matching with the ID. After that, we need to update all the details entered. Whatever details are entered, we should update. They will open all the details and modify few details, but we need to update all details. How do you update all details? So here we have to use $set. Already update command I showed you how to update in MongoDB. $set, and set uses a query. And what is the query? We need to set what? Set appointment ID, name, everything we need to set. That means set So we are giving, actually, this set is expecting what you want to set. So here we need to set the details like what appointment ID, from where it will come. So parse int. So request dot body dot appointment ID. Appointment ID. That is one detail. Next, what title? Title will come from request dot body dot title. Same like insert, what you have done. Another one is description. Description will come from same. What is it? Request dot body dot description. Okay. Next. So we have a date. Am I right? Date will come. So new date and request dot body dot date. Next, what we have user ID. User ID will come from request dot body dot user ID. That's what we need to define. And the dot then. So we will put a simple function and put a message console.log. So task updated. And we will put here response.end. That is ready. That is the put method we are designing. Okay, let's test this put method. So we will test the put method, which should update the data. So cd server node REST API.js. And we will open Postman. Postman is a debugging tool for us. In this Postman, let's test the put method. So the put method must update the appointment. So already the appointments we can access by using view tasks. View tasks is used for access the appointment. So here in the Postman, I will use the method as a put method. And what is it? Edit task. And edit task number is 1. Appointment ID is 1. And what is the task? In the body, already these details are present there. We need to modify some data. Suppose, so send project for review. So here we will give an option as test project before review, something like this. We done some modification in this and project test and review. And that is the update we have done, and click on send. And it should send the request successfully. And here task updated, it is showing the task is updated. And we will get the task and see related to SAM. We will use a method called get. So view task related to SAM NIT and send. The response comes here. And in the response, the modifications are updated here. Whatever we modified, it updated those details there. So this is a simple concept of handling put operation. Put operation is for updating the details, right? Next, we have one more action. What is that action? Delete. We need to create a delete action. Okay. Suppose I will add one more method, post method, add task. So I will use add task. In this appointment ID 2. So suppose here we say some birthday, something like this. Yeah, some friend birthday, so like this. And we entered some date here. So 2024 06 some 02 something. Some this is same user I am giving. We can give another user also, but as of now we created only one user. So send this record is also inserted. Now you can get and view tasks of Sam. Now we have two appointments related to him. One is birthday, another one is this one. So those two appointments are available for him. We must able to delete an appointment. So how to delete? So we need to create an action. API method is this one. So we have to design app dot what delete. Delete task. Delete task based on ID only you can delete the task. So based on ID, we have a request and response. First collect the ID is equal to parse int, and we have request dot parameters dot ID and delete that record. I will copy the connection Mongo client, right? I will copy this connection, and here actually we will have database dot collection. Collection is what? Appointments. So dot delete one. Which one to delete? Query. So where appointment ID is matching with the ID. Dot then we will have a function and simple response console dot log. So task deleted. Task deleted is the message. And response dot end. Okay. Now let's run this REST API. Delete is also ready. Now I will use the method here delete, and we have delete task. Delete task slash ID is 2. We are passing the second one, and click on send, and it is ready. Now see the tasks, view tasks of Sam. This time only one record must get method here, and only one record must be there here. Acha, delete some problem is there. Why it is not deleted? Appointment ID may be not matching. Okay, what query we given for delete? It is showing task deleted but not deleted. Where is it? Appointments is the table name. It is not appointment. We given table name wrong. Right. Now let's go to the delete method, and it is what? Delete task, and slash what? 2. Okay. It's connection refused means it is having a problem in database connection. We are not running this. Okay. Now run this. It is working fine. Now view the tasks of SAM NIT. Now it should be a get method, and it should be only one record. The second one is deleted. Right? So all the API methods are ready. All the API methods are ready and they are working fine. We tested all the API methods for our project, and this is the example. This is REST API.js. Yesterday I given, but yesterday we haven't added this edit and delete. Now complete all the API methods are ready. So the REST API is ready. Now we need to build the interface for this. So the backend database is ready, and the front end UI we need to make ready, right? Database and server side APIs are ready. Let's design the UI. So let's go to our project, and your project will start with app. That means it will start with index. In index, which component is in the startup? App. App component is in the startup. From there, we need to design the complete interaction. Let's do that. So we will go to SRC. In SRC, which one? App.js. And in app.js, we have to design the interface. So what I will do here, because we are using Bootstrap, we already installed Bootstrap. In index.js, we have to install the Bootstrap. So import, so /node modules, in that Bootstrap dist, and CSS in that bootstrap.css. Another file we need to import, node modules, bootstrap icons, font, and bootstrap icons.css. These two files we need to set up. One more important is we are going to use cookies here. So then we need to import cookies provider from React cookie library, and make sure that this app is running inside that what cookies provider. Already I showed you how to manage the cookies. Now this is the index. Any other modification later we will do. If you want Bootstrap related functionalities, then you can import Bootstrap, Bootstrap as Bootstrap. So as what? Bootstrap. Import Bootstrap from Bootstrap library. This is for what? All its Bootstrap jQuery functions. Bootstrap have dynamic functions: data BS target, data BS dismiss, data BS toggle. All those can work only when you import this dynamic Bootstrap. Because Bootstrap CSS and Bootstrap JavaScript files are present. You have to import these two. Okay. I already showed you that we created in the beginning, all this. Now app will start. Okay. Let's design the app component. So we will open another terminal. Make sure that this API is running. If you stop the API, then you cannot use the API, right? In another terminal, we will start the project. npm start. Okay. Now we will start from this app.js. In app.js, already some design is there. We will clean up all this, and we will put a container fluid. Okay. Now let's create the design. So this is a to-do application. Let it open. So first we will design the interaction here. It is still compiling, right? So we will take a to-do design. Suppose we have free picks. Free picks is one free pictures related website. I will use here as accept. I am searching for some to do. Okay, we will use to do. So to do related some ready-made images are there. So we will use any image. To do list. Okay. Let's take some image like this. Suppose I am taking this image. This is a premium one. Any another free? Okay, I will take this one. And we will download this. So free download, yeah. Okay, that image is downloaded, and let us copy this into our project folder. We will simply name it as to do. JPG file is there. So already is there. To do background. To do back. So I will copy that and keep in our project folder. So our project location reveal in Explorer. In this public, I will keep directly that to do back. So we are having this background. Okay. Now what we need to do, we need to design that here. So this is the output actually. I will close this. Our app is empty currently. How to keep that in the background? So we will go to app.css is there. So we will go to app.css, which is imported. Here I will clean up all this. And here we will put a container fluid is there. So better we will keep the container fluid. Yep. So this container fluid we are adding background image. Background image URL, and it is from which location? It is in public. Directly we have to do dot what? It is to do back dot what JPG, and here height as 100 VH. Okay, that is the height we are defining. And this image have a problem. It is in which location? Public. To do back folder. So that is the image it is having. Okay. It is in public to do. That is the location. Okay. I will put background size to cover. So I will keep the background size to cover. It will be in this way. That is the background. And in this background, we can keep anything. If we don't want to dominate the background, you already know. So we can design just in Netflix, like we created the design. You can try that. but this is enough here. What we will do now, here we need to design a login screen. First, we will create a home. User can log in, user can register, user can add the appointments and view the appointments, delete appointments. So in the first screen, we need to provide two options. User can log in and user can register, right? So we need a navigation system. Then we will import a browser router from React Router DOM. In the browser router, I will write a header at the top and in the heading. So this is a heading to do. Like this, I just defined to do. And this is a to do and a class as text white and text center. Okay, that is enough. So here that is to do. And simply I put a paragraph. So class as text white and text center. And here I will give your appointments. So something subtitle and subtitle like I given there. And we will give some FS as 4. Then little font size increases. So font weight bold, that looks fine. This is the title we are having. Okay. Now below this, the header, we will keep a section. In the section, we will keep a div. In this div, we will add the content. That means what we will do is we will define the routes now. What are the routes? The content must be shown here. Let's design the first screen. We will add a folder called components. In the components folder, first component, we need a to do home page dot what JSX. After that, so we need to do register dot JSX and we need to do login dot JSX. First, we are preparing these three: home, login, and register. So what should happen is now in the components, let me first design the basic component export function. So and to do home, okay, and return here a simple container. In this, we want only two links we want. One is a link. This link will say, so user login. So here, so new user register. We are giving two links we are giving. And let's say this is the main because it is the entry point. And here we are having class deflex justify content center, align items center, and style height as 100 VH. Okay, and these two must look like buttons, class BTN and BTN light. And this also should look like BTN and BTN primary. Like buttons, these links should look like. Now, home is ready. We, when startup here in the section, I am creating here class as margin top 4. Here we will create routes. In the routes, we need a route. What is the route? So we need to configure the route. What is the route path? So route path is slash. Then what is the element? Element is to do home. To do home, element should come. That is the first thing you need to see on screen. That means now it is displaying that here. User login and new user register. I will go to home and suppose I given warning and MSME2, some gap between these two. This is the login and register. Now we need to design a login screen. Login screen is nothing but when user clicks on new user register, a registration form should come. In that registration form, he will fill the details and submit, which will be stored in the database. Okay. First, we will design that. So then what we will do is we will create a component called already created now. Yeah, to do register component is there. Now we will write here export function. So to do register and it should return a simple registration form. So what we will do now in that this will have a form and we will keep a header. So register user. That is the form we are giving. Class name BI and BI some person fill. Okay. This is register user form. Okay. Now this form should open when user clicks on register. So we need to put a route for that. So route, if the route path is slash register, if it is register, what is the element? Element is to do register element should come. And in home page on this link click, that means link to slash what register. Okay. Now you can see when I click on new user register, the form will open here. We will design a form so that we can easily see that form. For this form, I will put a class BG light padding 4. So that's good. Margin also I give 3. And we have a border and border 2. Border dark or secondary we will give dark. Okay. And we just added a rounded. And this is the form. And I will keep as W25 looks enough. So that is the form size. That is a registration form we are designing. This is the registration form we are designing. So I will just keep it as a div instead of heading. And I will give H3 or 4 like this. Now it will have a little better interface. And a small screen is enough for the register user. Okay, now what we need to do, put a form. From there, user should able to enter the details and submit the details. In the database, what are the user details we are having? So we have get users now. In the get users, every user have a user ID, name, password, email, and mobile. Okay, we need to design a form for that. So we are creating first a data list, data term. So user ID and data definition. Here we will put a text box. Input type is text. Okay. Another data term is username and input type is text. And we have password. So input type is password. And email, input type email. We have email type. You can write yep validations and all. You already learned them. So we have mobile. So input type is text. Okay. And below that, we will keep a button and say register. So BTN and BTN primary or warning something and W100. That is the registration form we are having. And these will have the class form control. So we are adding the class form control, and this is the form control class. So all looks fine. This is the registration form. Now user must able to fill the form and register. These details must be stored in the database. Okay. Now to handle a form, we will use here constant formic is equal to use formic. We already installed formic. And formic, you know how to handle initial values. Initial values requires user ID. This user ID is initially empty, right? And username, that's also empty. Password, it's an empty string. And email, that's also empty. And mobile, that's also an empty. Okay. Now what should happen? So on submit, it should collect the user details. And what it should do is it should submit those user details, collect the user details and submit the user details to our API method. What is the API method for adding user? So our API is there in server. Yeah. Register user is the API method which is expecting the user details, which is expecting these user details. So what is the method? Register user. So here we have to use Axios dot post, because register is to be designed on post. You have to post Axios post, where to post and what to post. http://127.001:6060 is our API port number, and register user is the API method. Into that, you have to send user data. What is the data to be sent? So post method requires the URL and what is the data to be sent. Get method needs just URL. And dot then, what should happen on then? Dot then, that means if it is successful, then what it should do is it should uh, it should show us a message alert saying that user registered. And after that it should navigate to login screen so that we can ask him to log in after register. So how to navigate? You need to create let navigate is equal to use navigate, and use navigate is a hook. And here through navigate we can navigate to which location? Login. But login we haven't designed yet. We have to create the login. So we will go to do login and export function to do login and return here a simple design. Initially, I will just create a form and put a heading called user login. Later, we will design the screen, login screen. So first, after registration, they should come here. Means in app, there should be path for login also. Route path as what? Login. And what is the element? Element should be to do login. to do login. That is the element which should render. Okay, that is ready. But register form is not ready because formic need to be binded now. That means form on submit. Formic dot handle submit. How to design a form already you know. How to bind with all these text elements on change. What should happen? Formic dot handle change. Then we can collect data from there. And one more thing you forgot here, which is very important. Every element must have a name. And the name is what? User ID. And the name is username. And the name is password. Because these are used as form body keys. So the name is email. And here the name is mobile. Okay. Now that's it. Button type I will keep as what? Submit. Submit. This is the registration form. Now let's see here. So this is the form. And we will do one thing. Anytime when user clicks on this to do at the top, it should go to home. That means what you can do, that to do you can design as a link and later use it, or you, we will put back buttons and all later. We will add them. If in this registration form, we usually put a simple div with a link. So link, so here we give, so existing user login, like this we will give. And here to link to which place, it should link to login. That looks better. Okay, existing user login will be there here. Better we will keep this in the form only. Yeah? Below this button I will add a div and keep it. Okay, that means existing user login. If you already have an account, you can go to that login. Okay, that's the point. Now what we can do here, when user clicks existing user login, it will go to that login screen. So from there, they can come back to register form also, right? Okay. Now what should happen? Login we haven't designed, we have to design that. When user enters all the details, then after submitting the details, it should go to this login screen. So temporarily class BG light and suppose padding 4, margin 3, something like this we are giving, width 25. Okay, for this also I just added some screen. And what should happen is when we open the initial screen, first it comes like this. In this what? User have to register, user have to log in. Login is also ready now. That means in app.js, not home.js, this should navigate to which one? Slash login. So we have login and register. When I click on register, the register form should come. In the register form, let's enter the details. All the binding work is done. Enter the details. Now, when I am entering the details here, I entered Sam underscore NIT. If already that user is taken, it should show me alert saying that user ID already taken, try another. That means user must be unique for us because based on user only, we are filtering the appointments. That means if user entered the details and those are already taken by somebody, then it should show that user ID is taken, try another. How to implement that? Suppose a new user you entered, it will take. For example, So I entered like John. So some UI, something like this. And I given username as John. Password is some John at the net 123. That is the password I given. Email at john at outlook.com something. Some mobile I entered like this. That means like plus 91, something like this I define. I entered the details of new user and I click on register. Then it should show an alert user registered and okay. Then it should go to the login. We will check in the database, MongoDB database. This must be stored in the database, right? That new user. So in the API and in the front end design, now we have a communication between the front end and the API. So if there are any issues related to API, you should first track them in Postman itself. Check everything is perfectly working. Okay, React to do in that users, and you see the second user added here. Second user added successful. That means the registration is working fine. But what is the additional concept we need to implement here? In a login screen, we'll design login screen later, but here I will keep a link. In the link, so new user register. It should navigate to which one slash what register. Okay, let's go to that option new user register. It will come to register. When I enter user ID, I should able to verify whether the user is already taken or not. We need to implement that logic. Now, how do you verify while user is typing? While user is typing, we need to verify that user ID is already taken or not. Then you can try on key up event. We learned various events, right? On key up, what we should do is we should get all the users entered in the database and verify which user is matching. That means we have one API method. What is the API method? We have get users API method, which is getting all the users. So what you do here is while typing, you need to handle that. Already in this register, handle on change is ready. Huh? On change of user ID, it is collecting the data and submitting it. Now here we have to write another function. So function name is verify user ID, right? Verify the user ID. Okay. Now what we will do is we will put a event argument, and we will write an event. What is that event? On key up. On key up is the event. On key up, verify user ID is the function. It should map to that particular function. Verify user ID is the function. Now, what should happen is on key up, you are verifying the user ID. That user ID will come here. Now, see this user ID, whatever user is entering, we have to verify. How do we verify? That means first we have to get users. That means constant. We will put users and set users, use state, and we are expecting an array of all the users. And in that, we will have user ID, which is a string, user name, that is also a string, password, that is a string, and what else? Email is a string like this, and mobile also a string. This is the data what we are expecting. Now, what should happen is when user is typing, I need to get the users. Axios dot get the users. From where to get the user? HTTP colon double slash 127.001.6060 slash get users. This is our own API method, which is fetching all the users. Dot then on success, get the response. And so this response data, we need to put in the users. We need to store. Actually, we don't need to store. We can directly verify. You can store and verify, or you can directly verify. Why? Because that response data is complete users list. That means what it is doing, where users is equal to, what is it? Response dot data. This users is an array. Now what we need to do is we need to verify in that users whether that ID is matching with the ID or not. How? Whether the ID is matching with the value we are entering here. Is that ID matching with the value we are entering here? And get only that user. Only that user who is matching with that particular ID. Or this is the complete users data. And in that users data, we need to get only the user who is matching with the current ID. You learnt array find method now. You have a array find method. What that find method can do? Find and filter methods are there. Find method can return only one record which is matching the content. And filter can return multiple. Right? Now, what we have to do, we have to verify. Suppose I am writing for where user of what response dot what data. That means it is getting all the users information. Now here, if user dot user ID is matching with whom? Is matching with e dot target dot value. That means if it is matching with that value, then temporarily I am showing here console.log. I am keeping a message. What is that message? Is taken. Taken I will give. And I will put a break. We are adding a break. Otherwise, what it should do? It should say console.log. It should say available. Am I right? Actually, for every key, it will verify. Every key, it will verify. Temporarily, I am using a log so that we can check is it perfectly working or not. So in the inspect, what we are doing here is let's go to the console. Okay, in the console, here we will type the user. And in user ID, I am typing SAM, S available, A M underscore N I T. It is taken. SAM underscore NIT is taken. Until that, it is not taken. That means the logic is happening, so functioning fine. So what you do now, show that message. So somewhere here. So you don't need this. We are actually, you can store in the state and from there you can verify. I'm directly verifying from the data. So here what you do is, here we will put a constant MSG, set MSG is equal to use state. We will put a string And what we will do is, if it is there, then set MSG. We will put a message, user ID taken, try another, try another. This is the message we are giving. And user ID available, set MSG. So user ID available. And based on that, we can put a class also now. That means we will put a valid class, and a set valid class is equal to use state. It is also a string. And what is the valid class? So if it is taken, set valid class will be text danger. And otherwise, set valid class will be what? Text success. These are the messages. Where to show the message? Below this user ID, we should show the message in a data definition. Here we want to show the message. Here we want to apply the color class that will come from valid class, whether it is success or not. Now let's check this now. I am entering the username. Username is like John J. User ID is available. John underscore UI. It is taken. That's just we registered. So one user we registered. Suppose you are removing one character, it is available. For every character, we are verifying that particular user available or not. This will be better because we want a unique name, and we don't want users to have an account. If they are registering, it should verify whether that account is already taken or not. You can do in lot of ways. Through email, you can verify. Through user ID, you can verify, like that. So this is one simple point. That looks fine. That looks good. That means I'm using some David. So it is available. So underscore React, that's available. I given David. So is the name, and we have password David, and email is David at outlook.com. And some David have some +91, some number, and click on registered, and it will go to the login. And in the users list, now you have the users list. These are the 3 users available, right? So now we have now suppose new user, again David is available. David underscore React is taken. So try another. It should show that it is taken. So we are implementing that mechanism. Now it's ready. Now next step, what we have to do is we must design the login. When user login, his appointments must come. When user login, user dashboard should come. In the dashboard, it should show your appointments, add new appointment, edit appointment, delete appointment, all the interactions you must able to manage. That we will design in tomorrow session, right? In tomorrow session, we can finish this. So in tomorrow session, we can complete that, because one operation, others are very simple. You can easily manage. So this is a complete end-to-end application from front end to back end database, a complete MERN stack application. So I will give another application, more complex with more data and more relationships. We will design another one. But first you should able to design like this. Then tomorrow we will finish this. After tomorrow I finish this, I will upload this design code. I will upload only API code. This design code I will upload tomorrow. Once I finish the complete example, then I will upload the complete GIF folder. Okay. API I will upload, but this design I will upload tomorrow, because this is pending. We should finish tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue that, right?